Stepping in the building. I begin my day with heavenly endeavors, with the clever feathers falling from the birds that control the letters. Whether or not I better put together the truth than they do, I render the memories from my pen straight to you, of the betterment of whatever I choose to do. Never leveling with the members of the uncouth crews, but pay attention, brethren, beloved sisters, reverence, Oprah fans, followers of David Letterman, and then I blend the veteran flow with the benevolence I spew. To all comparisons, I'm better than I'm nice. Step to him, I dare you, but you better defend, or I bet you end up in the devil's den.
Yo, what the fuck is good, y'all? I'm so happy and honored to have this series of conversations, interviews, if you will, pop off, and I'm really grateful to have Soul Xprsn here with me in the place to be, les amis. And yeah, we've had him on Dissolving the Divide, and that was a really great show. And this brother is a great conscious hip-hop artist, family man, Ufulu child, if you will, with the great things he's got going on with his wife, who's also a wonderful human being as well. They're making wonderful music and just got a lot of stuff going on and helping their local communities just stay alive and thrive and all that good stuff and staying right. So yeah, man, I'm just happy to have you on, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy to be here. Definitely appreciate the kind words. I am, just to tell your audience, I am an artist, mostly performing art, but I also draw a little bit, and an author, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. Like I teach chess to kids. I was an educator for about 8 years. You know, stuff like that. But yeah, I sing, I rap, I do spoken word poetry, I write all of my own material, and I've authored a book very recently.
Yeah, that's the one thing that was in the forefront. I wanted to say that off the bat, but I wanted to get the other stuff away, and then I totally forgot about the book, man. Yeah.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
We highlighted that in the Dissolving the Divide and all that good shit. But yeah, please feel free to share about that, and any reviews, comments, anyone who's read it, who's, you know, benefited from it, or like, hey, so what the hell did you write about this? Did you get any flack or criticism or what?
No.
Cool.
Actually, so this book is received extremely well by everybody so far who has read it, and I've gotten feedback from it, but all of it has been positive. So, you know, at least if there is anything negative, even the internet trolls are not saying anything negative about this book in particular. It's called Culture Control, subtitle, Why the Love of Money is Objectively the Root of All Evil. And, you know, it's not just a critique of the existence of economics, nor is it a philosophical rant. It's more so a challenge to the illusion that we're free, and an invitation to reclaim the truths that we've forgotten, and to, in turn, by reclaiming truth, reclaim the freedom that we are, you know, that we have a birthright to through thought, emotions, and action, right? Mind, spirit, and body. So
yeah, man, that's great. And yeah, coincidentally enough, or not really, but because people throw out the word freedom, you know, all loosey-goosey and whatever. People have tainted ideas of what freedom actually is and all that stuff. And yeah, of course, you know, we have to liberate our minds first and foremost. But yeah, we have a great festival, music festival coming up, and I would love to have you featured for, you know, a couple tracks or whatever. Soundpath to Freedom. That's kind of a festival coming up in September for folks that are not aware yet. I'm posting this chat on that YouTube channel as well. And yeah, it's just got to get the word out in so many different ways and just collaborate, cross-pollinate, and just make it great and all that shit. So yeah, man. And I really appreciate the vibe and energy and positive messages that you have and evoke in your music. It's really great, man. And your book. You know, I haven't read it yet. I'm sorry, but yeah.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I know you'll get to it eventually. Yeah, no, my music is also very centered around the same uh, conceptual realms. When I write something, for music, it's always inspired by positive inner experiences that I have, whether they, around family or spiritual insight, or even more so like insight on politically charged things that matter because they touch so many lives. Um, Whatever it is, right? That insight, that internal experience inspires the lyrical content that comes through. And so I've always been quite um, conscious with the lyrics that come through.
Fuck yeah, man. And it's kind of like you see what's going on and you're kind of compelled to say something about it, speak up and this and that. And it kind of reminds me of a chat I did with Fred from Libercast. It was titled like alchemized artistry in a sense. And it's just, yeah, you're taking in all the negative stuff and observing all this shit and you're trying to transmute it and, let kind of mirror it out to society in a sense and just all these different ways. And that's why I feel like music is one of the most powerful forms of a human expression that is on this planet or in existence in a sense, because it can pack such a punch with the spiritual lyrical stuff and the melodies and all these things intertwined, and it's so powerful, man. And yeah,
Absolutely. I got some lyrics prepared, to share with y'all today if you want to hear some.
Yeah, feel free to bust them out whenever you feel like it, man.
Whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, but if you want, yeah, I definitely want to know what's kind of what influenced you? What'd you learn, growing up and this and that kind of made you do the pathwork that you're doing and the art that you've been working, man?
Well,
music wise, the philosophers, the true speakers, and all that stuff. We have some common folks, of course, but yeah, I'll let you.
Yeah, so I've always, as far as music, because I have to answer kind of twofold, because the music is not separate from, but it's just a little different than the truth seeking and like freedom seeking work that I do. It's related, but I haven't created like a super movement off of the music, how I'm trying to create off of culture control. But anyway, growing up, I grew up in a traditionally Black American household. And so some of the things that I thought defined my identity were things like the Democratic Party, the Black church experience, being like various celebrity images. So not the celebrities themselves, but the images that they portray in their music videos and movies. Having a set of street smarts that were war, like you're always at war with somebody or some group, and you're tribalism. A lot of these things kind of seeped into, as well as positive things, but these were the things that were more distractive and or negative. So either neutral, distractive, or straight up negative things that I, were programmed into me. And so my music started when I started to write music. Well, actually, a little bit after I started to write, because I started to write when I was about 14 years old, and this was before I had any awakenings in my life. But fast forward a couple years into writing music, and I started to get good at writing music. I started to want to present a message like some of the artists that inspired me before I, adopted many negative beliefs. Artists like Michael Jackson, artists like Stevie Wonder, Lauryn Hill, early Tupac, Mos Def. These artists that had a sense of giving back and providing positivity to their listening audiences, not for the sake of positivity, but for the sake of change of the culture that they also, in one way or another, participated in creating. Negative things in the culture that they wanted to change. And so when I started to awaken to not only the parts of culture that I wanted to change within my own self and the automatic responses that I wanted to change that were embedded in me for my own sake, I started to want to make music and make lyrical content that inspired that change in other people. And so, for instance, some of the things I wrote were like this out of a song called Divide and Conquer. I say, having the correct opinion and doing the right thing, that's two separate sets of choices. And our lessons get avoided when reflection gets aborted. We peddle empty noises, and static airtime that's demanded by the markets begets a void in creativity. Blessings and anointing in the flesh is seen as pointless. I'd rather smoke a joint and fuck a bitch in disappointment of myself, chasing wealth disjointed from health and fitness, got selfishness, regret, and fortune. But don't be blind to the matrix. Wealth without freedom is food with no plate. It's lacking foundation and fundament, which is a sin against creation. Learn strength and summon it. Let it be shown self-mastery is what you come in with. ... for the rest of that song. But the change, it shows. Hopefully it shows in the lyrical content that I like to create.
Yeah, that was dope, man. Yeah, I love that. And yeah, see, you're one of those artists where, I'm doing my music mixes and stuff, and I see cats like you, and I'm like, do you guys have an album or all this stuff and that kind of stuff? And having, folks like you kind of on the back burners of these playlists that I've curated and stuff and want to put them into like projects and stuff. And yeah, man, it's just like, there's so many things to keep track of and this and that. But yeah, just like hearing things that just like perk my ears up with the whole, especially with my channel Dissolving the Divide, and you're talking about divide and conquer stuff. So I'm like, shit, man, I gotta like do something with this music that these conscious cats are creating. I love this shit. So yeah, man, like much respects, yo. But do you have an album out, or you just?
I do. I have an EP out. It's on SoundCloud. I hate to say it's on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
But it is. And it's called what is it called? It's called the it was released over 10 years ago, so pardon the name. Shit. But the Atomic EP, that's what it's called. The Atomic EP. It has songs on there. One of them's called Love Love. That's one of my wife's favorite songs. And then the rest of the songs, they're called The Problem, the cause, the effect, the solution, and the source. Ooh. And then I have Love Love and one or two more songs on there. And that's a project. Okay. Right? Cause, effect, source, and the solution.
I follow you.
And then I have a single with a music video that I recorded years later called Everybody Move. Yep.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
That's a really good.
You got some of it.
Yeah. That one's live, man. I really like that. Like, just total positive energy. Your lyrics are fucking on point and fucking fire, man. Yeah, it's straight. Yeah, that was dope, man. Was it difficult to like gather those folks to make that music video happen and like snap up some clips from here and there?
Nah. Kudos to my mom. She flew us out, and the protest that you see in the video, that was just scheduled on the day that we were shooting. And so we was there in the hood
Okay.
and that was going on. So we participated, and the cameraman, took advantage of the situation and
Okay.
added that into some of the shots for the video. So that was just we were shooting, and then we heard what was going on, and all myself and my mom already knew one of the organizers who was walking in the front, and we asked what the protest was about, and then we was like, oh yeah, we'll participate in that. It was about stopping gun violence between, unnecessary gun violence as far as young Black males go in that particular part of town. And so we went ahead and participated, gave our energy to that for a little bit, took it to the streets, if you will, and then that made it into the video. But yeah, no, it wasn't hard, because we planned it out.
Cool, man. Cool. Yeah. And yeah, I appreciate the hashtag kind of like everybody move type of shit, and just kind of like that was a couple years ago, yeah, that you made that?
Yeah,
Right, yeah, and like, and of course, since the dawning of the Rona, we had the Floyd, I forget his last name, the whole Black Lives Matter stuff
George
and this and
Floyd.
that, and I've been in France, just kind of like on the outside looking in, and just like such a clusterfuck of all this stuff, and yeah, you're talking about growing up and like having the siding more like democratically and all this stuff, but
Yeah.
over time you kind of realize like who the fuck are these people in a sense and all this stuff, and so yeah, there's like
Well, what? Yeah. Who am I?
yeah, right,
Who am I? Happened. Not even who are these people, because the so I had two major awakenings in my life, and I call the first one my awakening from the left to the right, and then my second one from politics to spiritual anarchism or voluntarism, or all of these different words that mean everything should basically be consensual and respectful and don't steal, and that's it. As a personal political philosophy, and the second one is more important for the human family, but the first one was the most, I would say, disruptively honest awakening that I had. So it started around a little bit after 2020, maybe 2022 or so. Um, Maybe 2021. I can't remember the year, but my friend, who was a good friend of mine, we were talking on the phone, and I realized that he was supporting Donald Trump's. Uh, he was saying that the election was stolen or something like that, because that's election year for us. Is 2020 was election year, and so maybe it was 2020. Anyway, he was in support of that, and I was like surprised that someone that I would study the hieroglyphics and like some of the ancient principles of Kemet with and stuff was supporting the orange man. and and so when I talked to him about it, and he told me that there was a couple ways that he just realized that what the media is doing is intentionally arousing emotional arguments, and it's not supporting anything with factual claims. I started to wake up to media tactics, and then I found I found it very interesting to listen to both sides, both political sides, because we only have two here in America, both political sides of political commentary, podcasts, and reading articles and things like that. And I had a huge, and I have to give a huge thanks to Candace Owens, a huge fanboy awakening in me for Candace Owens's content, because she just seemed to follow what the facts of whatever story was in a way that was compelling and inspiring, but also, again, disruptively honest. And so I learned to question things that I didn't question before in my life. And I remember I had a podcast. It was called the Expression of Love podcast, right? And I remember in the second episode of said podcast, episode 2, I was talking to my man Malik Brown. Great brother. He does a lot of traveling and stuff. Malik is real cool. But I was talking to Malik for my podcast episode, and in that episode 2, I was finding myself defending abortion, right? Defending the act of murder. And then by episode 7, I had already done a solo episode. So the episode numbers are the interviews for that podcast. And then around the time that I interviewed my 7th person, I had already done a full 1-hour solo show explaining how abortion is, unless you're saving the life of a mother, wrong, because it's don't steal. And it's a funny little contrast that I reflect on often of that awakening, of how emotionally tied into certain narratives I was, and how abrupt disruptive honesty has a power to completely change your inner makeup, you know what I'm saying? Or at least mine, because I'm not so cowardly that new information can't change my mind. So yeah, I changed my mind on stuff. And then, when I came back into contact with creators like Mark Passio, I awakened out of all of it. And I'm still a big, huge fan of Candace Owens, because she's going through an awakening right now, and we're just watching it every episode. And it's really cool. Yeah, like she's a monster. I'm just telling you right now, monster in a good way. But she's not the only one. There's plenty. There's people that are not here with us anymore, like Maxwell. Shout out
Jordan, yeah, sure.
Lloyd Pye, and certain people. There's the book The End of All Evil, which just gives the summary of the pattern of tyranny that we experience, and all of that, right? There's a whole bunch of creators, but
oh yeah,
at the end of the day, the truth does not change. And that's the point, is your opinions and what you think should be and how you think should be will change 1,000,000 billion trillion times. But the truth, what is and what will be and what has been, does not change. And so aligning personal philosophy and opinions with truth, and aligning your habits on how you are forming your opinions with how you are seeking truth, is what matters most, in my humble opinion.
Fuck yeah, man. And that's really well stated. And yeah, appreciate it. I haven't heard it articulated precisely like that, and I really appreciate that. It's a good reminder for people, and I'm sure you're definitely familiar with the Kybalion and Hermetic principles and this and that, and it goes into what we're talking about is the law of polarity and this and that. And if you remember that passage where it talks about like all truths are but half truths, but that is referring to people's subjective truths.
Mm-hmm.
They're not talking about the truth, the objective truth, and how people need to just, put their feelings aside, right? All those feels, and yeah, we could all feel bad about being wrong about whatever the fuck, but, we got to pick ourselves up, dust whatever off, and just align with what is true, morally correct, and right, Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah.
It's not easy, right? But yeah.
It's so powerful. All truths are but half truths, and I would say you're exactly correct. The meaning is not that there is more than one truth and they're all half truths. The meaning is that there is one truth, and a human being's interpretation of truth will always be incomplete. There we go. Will always be incomplete, right? We see out the front of our head. We don't see out the back of our head, right? Incompleteness is the nature of the human being. There will never be a complete picture. And if you have the complete picture, you are God incarnate. and there's just none of us that are that. So there's
I like that. Yeah.
yeah, like there's no way that a single human being can take a complex, concept or aspect of reality and just be able to explain, especially explain in words, but even explain in words and actions, the full truth about it. It's impossible because life is so involved with all of these different moving parts. And there's parts that are extremely infinitesimally small, and there are parts that are as big as galaxies and universes even. And so we will never have the complete picture of anything. And that's the point of all truths are but half truths, right? What we are able to put together in words and explanations are but aspects of a greater truth that does not move, does not change, was not man-made, and can never be discovered in its entirety, but can be aligned with slowly but surely through deliberate effort and getting it wrong sometimes and then getting it right.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And shit. Lost my train of thought on that, but geez.
I'm trying not to get preachy on here.
No. We're gonna get to that because I've heard some critique on conscious rappers and this and that. Oh, they're so preachy, and so that's why they're not so popular. But yeah, going back to just are people really trying to we talk about like in the truth seeking communities and this and that of like I got some pieces to the puzzle of the fucked up conundrums and all this stuff. Yet and it's great. Like everyone has certain pieces to the puzzle, but who actually can see the actual picture to place these pieces to the puzzle? And are these pieces a little chipped, a little distorted, tainted, all that stuff, right? So there's a lot to consider with all this stuff. And so, yeah, it's a kind of a friendly reminder to just be humble with it. Like, and yeah, we cannot be perfectionists in this and just, walk that humble, steady, gradual path towards that summit, that alchemical mountain, if you will, right?
Yeah. Humility and gratitude solidify in altitude. Those with bad attitudes can barely understand. That's another Soul Expression lyric.
Fuck
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, going back to what I just was alluding to, I saw just the thumbnail headline of this video that I had saved for watching later, but it was titled like, why conscious rappers aren't, they're get hated on or whatever the fuck. And it's like, you see the thumbnail, it's like, why are you so preachy? And this and that. And have you gotten anything of the sort, or do you know what that sentiment is about, type of thing? And why
I sure
is it
do.
like that, right? Like,
Yes, I've gotten that. I've gotten that. Not from the majority of people, but I've gotten that plenty of times because the nature. So here's the thing. Mark Passio puts it in a really, really nice way to understand. The truth is belligerent because it wages war against untruth, right? The truth is not nice to lies. It cuts them down like a chainsaw does to a branch on a tree. It does not allow you to just continue living as a lie. And so since when conscious rappers confront the lies that they've been living and attempting to change within themselves in their lyrics, and they present that tree chopping truth, if you will, that lie tree chopping truth in their lyrics, how they received it and how, what they had to tell themselves, and now they're telling the world the same thing. It's going to meet the emotional reaction of anybody who hears that, who is living the same lie that they used to live, right? Or that they're trying to break free from. Because here's the thing, when you're an artist, you start talking about things before you've actually fully mastered them anyway, because you just always writing, you're always creating, you're always freestyling, you're always doing whatever. And so it'll come out, you're always painting, it'll come out even before you've fully assimilated the truth yourself, which is fine unless you're trying to, be like assert yourself as the authority on something.
Right, like some of these influencers out there, they're like watching a couple of things and then they just rush out because they want to say something to their viewers and get, their monetized bullshit and all that jazz, right? Yeah. We're not
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
that.
We don't want to do the guruism,
Nah,
but but sharing your story and sharing the truth that you discovered, faster than you're maybe able to be a master of it, is one of the things that I struggled with super heavy, since and I was a victim of it because it started when I was like 11 years old, is pornography. But I put stop watching porn lyrics into various songs well years before I actually what I'm saying, was able to confront and deal with that habit myself, years before. So I mean, there's just plenty of things that as artists we start putting the disruptive honesty into our lyrics and things, and imagery, right? For those of you who are symbol minded, not simple, symbolism minded, we put those truths, how we had to say it to ourselves, into our songs before we are able to, and that culminates in, well, why are you being preachy? You ain't perfect. You're not Jesus. Why are you being preachy? Why are you preaching to me? Why not just let me groove and make me feel good all the time? And it's like, well, we as human beings say that we want more peace and more freedom and more good experiences and more harmony with each other. And so there are prerequisites to achieving those goals. And one of the prerequisites to that is we have to stop worshiping the things that we worship. We have to stop believing things that are not true. And we have to start believing things that are true, which are two separate things, right? It's not the same to say, now I believe something that is true and I don't believe something that isn't true. No, you can do both. And so you have to do both. You have to stop believing things that are not true and start believing things that are true. And then act accordingly. Right? Be cohesive between mind and body and heart.
Yeah, because it's kind of, we're walking the talk. We're not just lip servicing these things, right? So yeah, it's just got to be in our daily operation, as I like to call it. And yeah, you have a legacy already with your family and Ufulu child and all these things, and that's so fucking fantastic, man. I love seeing that, man. Yeah, that's what's up. Gotta mirror the video, but yeah, I see you, man.
Oh.
It's all good.
I wonder if I can do that.
I think you can. It's just in the video settings. But yeah, so speaking of community, how has that been received? And how have you seen kind of like some of the results from, I don't like to call them, clients or patients or this and that, the people that you've worked with, rather, that kind of stuff, provided services for, if you will.
The community that we're building is excellent. They've come to the realization that they want to see certain changes. We don't take advantage of that and give them, we'll buy this and we'll give you a piece of the puzzle. We are interested in giving the whole pie. And so, what we do as far as our artistry is we create art and art spaces, because we do events, right? We just did an event called Thrive Zone. But we create art and art spaces for people to come and get a holistic experience, or watch and get a holistic experience from what they're watching or listening to or coming to visit to, as far as our live events. And so there's that. And then on the health and wellness side, our advice is built on our 5-prong healing system, which we call the Freedom 5. And it consists of the concepts be, cleanse, fuel, move, and shine. Be is being, going beyond the mental space into the beingness space. Cleanse is cleansing the body, cleansing the mind, cleansing the heart. Fuel, fueling the heart, fueling the mind, fueling the body. Move, you got to move. You got to move your mind, you got to move your body. And then shine is about sharing the revelations, experiences, tactics, strategies, and whatnot with the community and coming together and shining on each other.
Reminds me of that mix I made about a year ago titled Inner Light Shine. And it's kind of like, like we're receiving all that good, and we're taking care of ourselves, and we got to let that shine out to kind of have that positive influence upon others, I guess, right? That's where you're going with that, right?
Absolutely.
Cool.
It's an acronym for share honest, insightful, and nourishing expressions.
Oh, fuck yeah. Like that good old each one teach one. Whatever.
Yeah. You know, they say the sun doesn't shine on itself, but it gives light to all. You know what I'm saying? The sun doesn't need someone else to shine on it, or it to shine on itself, or it to warm itself. It gives, and in giving, it just is an embodiment of what we seek and what we appreciate and what fuels our life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Well said. Well said. I love that. Shine on, brother. Yeah. So yeah, with music, things that we see on TV aren't so shiny now, are they? Well, they got a lot of bling and all those other kind of the false golden pyrite things, right? Should we touch on this a little bit?
We sure can. We sure can. The culture.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I'm sure you haven't been canceled yet, right? In this whole cancel culture crap.
Well, I'm not big enough to be canceled.
Right,
People don't even know who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the people that we, you know, are in community with here in Texas, we haven't gotten any negative feedback ever for, you know, like art that we've created or events that we put on. It's all positive. If anything, they say, hey, next time, can we get some more of this part? Because we really like this part, but it was short or something like that. And I don't mean we don't get feedback as far as what we can improve on. Obviously, we get that, but we don't get negative feedback as in, I don't like this.
Worst experience ever. What the hell? No. That's great. Oh, yeah, that's great.
But so for me, okay, because I really don't have an issue with boast and brag imagery on its face. I have an issue with the overlaying a cultural importance on, if you're not able to do this, then you're less of a human being. And so on its face, the bling, the how to say, the nice stuff, right? The Lamborghini, the suits, you know, you're dressed to the nines. That on its face, I don't have any issue with whatsoever. Even the gold and the stuff, whatever, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it myself, but I don't have, my issue is, if you're not like me, if you're not like this, if you can't embody this amount of
Material wealth or whatever.
Material wealth, then I'm better than you. And the culture over, I mean, if you're studying, you know, Mark Passio and people that really go deep into the occult, thousands of years of programming, but really we can just say decades of programming as far as the hip hop community goes, of the more, you know, naked women that are flocking to you, the more gold you can put around your neck, the more fast cars and whatnot that you can say are yours, the better of a person that you are. Has the culture has been infiltrated with that as a belief system, as a religion, and it's doing its job as a religion, right? Religion coming from religare in Latin, meaning to tie back. And what is it tying you back from? It's tying you back from the goal that we have as a human family for more harmony, more community, more peace, and more freedom. It's tying us back from these goals, and of course, tying us into or tying us to ignorance.
Yeah, and kind of people fall into the hive mind and get assimilated in these cultures, right, and religions, as you said. Yeah, it's just, and it's really sad, and it is sad that people. It's I'm not the biggest fan of using the word like monkey see, monkey do type of stuff, but you see people, especially these young subjective minds, and they see what's on TV and like, oh, that's what's cool, so I got to do that and re-emulate these things, and it's like you got to discover the gold within first before you want to,
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah, you have to embody what you see as actually good. Like, let's say they see the whole picture and they're associating the confidence that they see in the celebrity with the stuff that they have. Well, no, that confidence is an internal thing. The stuff that they have was probably attracted because of said confidence. Of course, we know later through information that it was, rented for the video or rented for the red carpet, whatever. But some people do have such a confidence and move with such an expertise and become a master in their field and whatever, master of their craft, and then they attract and are able to get the cars and the suits and the and the life partners and whatnot, the sexual market value. All of these things are attracted to some people because they can move in confidence, but they have to have the confidence first, or they have to build the confidence first. You know what I'm saying? And all of that. So the kid, the impressionable mind, they see the end result. They don't see the abandonment that made, where they made the decision. I can either become very passive and cowardly, or I can fight back and get strong. And then in building strength, they build confidence. They have battles. They lose some, they win others. They start to not lose anymore, and they build themselves, and then they become somebody with nice things. And I really like to, real quick before you hop back in, I really like to distinguish between having nice stuff and being overly arrogant or pushing the wrong agenda, because it's not everybody that has the nice stuff that is participating in that, right? There are a lot of people who have nice things that are also on your team. There are people who are promoted by the media who have nice things that are not on your team. Hashtag no Diddy.
And hashtag, I guess, don't judge a book by its cover, in a sense, but yeah, it's just yeah, you were getting that, like, that real law of attraction, someone that's really embodying who they truly are authentically and all this stuff, and having that proper self-esteem, that confidence and all this stuff, that is going to attract proper things in their life that are in alignment with who they are and all that jazz, right? And yeah, all that materialist stuff aside, yeah, I hear you, man. Like, it's not the biggest concern of seeing rappers presenting themselves as whatever, that's their free will choice, right? And I can respect that. And if it becomes a problem and an over obsession, yeah, it's just, I'm just not going to pay attention to it, right? That's
yeah, life gives in abundance. Abundance is a birthright. It's kind of like a new age. It's been tainted by new age idealism, but it's true. Life does give in abundance, right? If there were no laws, there are physical laws against planting trees that bear fruit on like highways and just in public, then food is everywhere, right? You go to Jamaica and food and coconuts, and they're everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But there's there's this illusion that that food is scarce and everything is scarce and things orchestrated by a few people from the top down, and then the conglomerate of all of the different types of order followers, as Mark calls them. But regardless, having nice things is not a bad thing, and in fact, it is not a bad aspiration and ambition to have. I want to graduate to having really nice things. By all means, do you, and you can even learn to flaunt in a healthy way. But again, the worship of money, the love of money, is indeed objectively the root of all evil, because it's the love of a freedom differential and the belief that there should be a differential in the amount of freedom between human beings who have it and human beings who don't. And that's where the issue really lies, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's like people say a lot of times, well, just follow the money. That's all there is to it, type of thing. And it's like you're missing a couple steps, because people are accumulating money because they want the power, and the power equals control. And so, yeah, and this goes back just, for eons, man, eons. And it's really sad that we're kind of caught up in this monetary conundrum and all that jazz. And it does suck that, there's the kind of like the spiritual new age communities that are kind of like allergic to money almost, and it's like, really, guys, like, what the you know what I mean with that? Like,
they pay their taxes,
right? Fuck yeah.
Which is straight up craziness and theft.
Yep.
But yeah, the issue lies in the undue worship and the undue association between, if I have the things, then that will give me the confidence, that will give me the creativity, that will give me the skills, that will give me. No, the money doesn't give you the thing. The materials don't give you the internal experience, right? Your XP comes from trial and error, and the willingness to reflect and learn on what you did wrong, and go try again. Don't be scared to try again, and then try and change what you did wrong to something you're doing right.
That XP experience, right?
Experience points. Yeah, for all my gamers out there, XP is experience.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. I thought that was just kind of like a play on words with your soul expression.
My last name, yeah, nah. XP is experience points.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, and we got to get out there and just play around with the reality, the nature, and all these things, and gain experience. And we see a lot of kids kind of like cooped up in their houses, trying to just be a TikToker and gain their fame that way, and be a gamer and all this stuff. And where's your life experience, boys and girls? Like,
but hey, life experience. Where's your knowledge? Right? Where's your knowledge of history and how culture became the way that it became, and where it seems to be headed based on your knowledge of history, and your knowledge of mathematics and numerology, and how cyclical things tend to be. And then also, where's your chaotic thought, your skill level in letting things be unknown and being intuitive to make the right choice? You know what I'm saying? Because there are times and place for coming from a chaotic thought space where it's not linear, and chaos is does not mean bad. We were taught chaos means bad. Chaos just means not organized and stuff like that. Yeah. So at least when I'm using it, when I'm saying chaos. So
right, in this context, yeah, I feel you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, like thought ball. Sometimes I call it thought ball. Coming from thought ball and just using your intuition to make the choice. Right? Building that skill, and then building actual like knowledge of like linear and logical knowledge to be the foundation of how you make your moves in life is fundamental to reclaiming sovereignty. You know what I'm saying? This might be a slight tangent from where you were headed, but that's my whole mission, is to help people reclaim sovereignty over themselves. And I don't mean, you know, sovereign citizen commercial paper tactics or anything like that. I mean, like, sovereignty over your thoughts, actions, and emotions, mind, body, spirit.
Fuck yeah, man. And that's unconsciously one of the reasons why I had my DJ moniker, like Awakening Mind. It was actually originally from an old school 4-track tape cassette song from the Living Legends. I think you're familiar with them. Little West Coast Underground shit, but yeah. But yeah, it really goes back to, you know, the first Hermetic principle of mentalism. It's all about our state of mind. And yeah, you're talking about the triune brain and having that unity consciousness of the mental gender, the left and right hemispheres of the brain, and really just trying to maintain and have control over our thoughts first and foremost, because the thoughts are going to, you know, dictate, you know, emotions and actions and all that stuff. And that's why they use mind control 24/7, right?
Right. Yeah. Right. The real non-binary. It's the union between the left brain and the right brain. I have to laugh, you know, sometimes.
Of course, we have.
And this isn't to be, you know, disrespectful or anything, but transgenderism is really like a mind fuck for those of us who are just really just not so far into the matrix that we can even understand some of the ideas that come through concepts like transgenderism. It's like, where does this even begin to make sense? I don't understand it. So anyway, that's why I giggled at that. But that is the real non-binary, is the mastery over building the logical and using the intuitive.
Hell yeah, man. And that, I had like I did it on live stream, just that inner light shine. It's just like that the feminine intuition, and you're letting it out into the external, that with the masculine energy force. Yeah, man, it's powerful. And just, yeah, playing around with these words and meditating and contemplating on them, it can really shed lights upon someone's just soul expression, you know, like.
Yeah.
So what kind of music you listen to these days? Caught you, huh? No, just kidding.
Not much. Well, nah, just like not many. I'm not listening to a whole lot of music for music's sake anymore.
Yeah, honestly, me too. It's unfortunate, right? But yeah, I'm listening more to like Mark Passio and shit like that. But
yeah, I used to escape via music. Now I don't really escape via music. I escape via like podcasts, and I'm really focused right now on national status correction and private banking and stuff. So I'm studying a lot and trying to understand how to navigate lawfully through spaces that, you know, it can be understood that I operate and trust privately, and I'm not operating in a way that's subject to the jurisdiction of any court system unless I create victims. In which case, sure, I'll go to court and I'll be accountable for what I created, because I am a part of the human family. And so if courts and things are how we do things, I will take responsibility if I create victims. But if I don't, then I operate privately, and I don't claim allegiance to a ruler over myself. And so just navigating that space in a way that doesn't trigger compliance issues with the bank or with any institution that I do want to do lawful business with. And then 2, that doesn't come off as overly rebellious when nobody's picking a fight with me. I feel like a lot of trouble in the spaces of, you know, sovereign movement and the freedom movement and stuff like that comes from being overly rebellious and angry for other people's stories, when you should be studying how to navigate the space yourself, so you can teach people how to navigate and how to prepare and how to be preventive. You know, one of the biggest things about health and nutrition is preventive care, right? Drinking your tea, fasting every now and again, working out, getting sunlight and sunshine into your life, and going outside on a daily basis, stuff like that is paramount to, you know, maintaining a healthy immune system, maintaining healthy sleep cycles, maintaining a healthy eating schedule, and not overeating and being just unhealthy in general. And it's preventive. You build systems around these things. And so the same thing, you know, should occur in the freedom movement, where we're trying to get off of the tax train, but lawfully trying to get off, because it is theft. They're stealing. There's no question about it. They're stealing, and it's a top-down thing where the order followers don't really know what's really going on, don't have any concept of the history of it at all. And then the court system is gatekeeping the information, because if they told everybody the real truth about it all at once, well, now the whole world economy is down, and that wouldn't necessarily pan out good for the first 10, 15 years of that happening. I don't even want that. I don't want the system to come crashing down instantaneously overnight. I mean, it'd be cool if everybody knew natural law and that happened, but we don't know that. We don't practice it. We don't even care about it. So, you know, I'm really focused these days, and instead of escaping into music, I'm escaping into, you know, things that I'm focused on, or podcasts, you know, just get opinions on stuff.
Fuck yeah. Get that grammar up, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with quantum grammar, by the way?
You mean like David Wynn-Miller?
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's not the best to be teaching it, but he has a lot of good information on it. But yeah, you're getting into things like, you know, maritime law, Black's law, and all these things. And it just like to maneuver through that. And, you know, yeah, you're saying, you know, like, I'm living my private life. I'm not causing any victims, so leave me the fuck alone type of shit, you know? Like
and I operate in trust.
Yeah.
Right. So I do lawful business. I do lawful business, lawful as far as natural law, and lawful as far as what are the human family rules that we created. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm separate from the human family. I'm not going to pretend like I wouldn't appreciate the pseudo freedom of going on vacation and stuff like that. You know, I would very much appreciate that for me and my family and whatnot. So in creating the abundance for my family that I want to create, I acknowledge that there are systems that are completely false and fake, and from the top are also evil, that I'm participating in, because there's all of the locked doors and just, you know, things that keep me from not participating it and still accepting the abundance that's my birthright. Right? I am still doing wrong in certain aspects of it, but that doesn't mean I'm really a part of the problem, because if anybody asks me what the truth is, I got you. Here's the truth. Right? I don't think a lot of people, also, this may sound arrogant, but I think it's true, and I want your opinion on it. I don't think a lot of people can operate like that, where they can know that and admit out loud to the internet that certain things that they do and participate in are wrong, but they're doing it because, you know, of their own reasons and their own logical conclusions. And my logical conclusions may change, and yada yada yada. Like, I don't know a whole lot of people that can do that.
Yeah. And you mentioned humility earlier. It takes a shizer load of humility for a lot of people. And yeah, you know, it's like in the anarchist community, like is it even possible or even feasible to be 100% anarchist? Like, you're totally out of the system. You don't even have a driver's license or an ID or any of that stuff. Like, what kind of hill are people going to be attempting or willing to die on, in a sense? You know what I mean? So, and it's not like we're rationalizing, you know, immoral actions. No, it's just like, it's like we're trying to cause the least amount of harm and, you know, factor ourselves out of the equation of slavery as much as possible. It's not possible to do it 100%. So what do we do, folks? Are we going to, you know, argue over split ends and bicker over, you know, who's the most purest fucking anarchist or voluntarist or abolitionist
Right.
or whatever? Right. Come on.
Right.
We have more. We need to combine forces so much more so we can actually get to that 100% the fucking level. Right. So shit.
Well, and what's the most prerequisite is we have to embody natural law. We have to, or the principles of natural law. We already embody natural law because it's embedded in every atom of the whole universe. But we have to embody the principles of do no harm and take no shit, and don't steal, right? And embrace your birthrights and defend your birthrights. Do no harm, take no shit, don't steal. It's the Trinity right there.
Boom. Yeah. Voila, man. Yeah. It's so simple yet so complex because we got these complex systems of the clusterfuck of consciousness and unconsciousness. And are you familiar with the idea of the Gordian knot?
The Gordian knot, no.
It's just like this, how society is just, you know, so far away from what is, you know, true and right and moral and all the stuff that, you know, the fabrics of society are so entangled and everyone up in it that how do we, you know, untie this knot? Sometimes it's like, it's untieable almost. So we got to get that Excalibur sword and just slice it right through and start anew in a sense. But yeah, as you mentioned, like just imagine the cataclysm that would happen if, you know, things just crash like that. And yeah, if it would be fucking total chaos in a negative sense, especially when people aren't aligned to natural law principles and morality and all these things, as you mentioned. Yeah, I feel you, man.
Oh, okay. And I just looked it up too. It says the Gordian knot, a legendary knot tied by King Gordius, represents a complex, seemingly unsolvable problem. So you got to cut it. Cutting the Gordian knot signifies solving a problem by using a bold, unconventional, and often forceful approach.
Ooh, nice. I haven't heard it said that way. Thanks.
Yeah, the power of doing an interview online.
Fuck yeah, brother. Yeah.
I get it though, and yes, that's the point. We are not promoting slavery, but there are aspects of slavery that we cannot not participate in, lest we regulate ourselves to being forest folk, which you could say that self-regulation would be self-imposed enslavement to the forest. You know what I'm saying? And since the prerequisite is not the system coming and crashing down just to be replaced with another one, but instead the people changing their minds and upgrading their minds to embrace the truths of the universe, we can definitely participate in the bullshit to a degree and try to not participate in it as much as we can while reaching the people that need the help and the push and the knowledge to be able to challenge false beliefs and false doctrine, which creates false culture or immoral culture.
Yeah. I feel it, man. Well said. So what about that music?
Talk about the book? Or you?
Yeah, I was thinking about your book. I was like, yeah, tie that in there some way.
Talk about the book. So I have a few things I want to say about the book. Firstly, like I said, it's not just a philosophical rant. It's not a an empty set of words that sound good. It's a recognition that in this culture, money and the pursuit of money, it's not just a medium of exchange. It's become our God, right? And through our worship and inaction, right, through our lack of action and through our worship of this God, money has become that which determines who eats, who sleeps peacefully and comfortably, who dreams big dreams and who doesn't get to dream, who suffers unnecessarily. And we've been taught that these systems, these monetary systems, are natural and even spiritual in nature. And so my book seeks to expose how deeply this lie has been woven into our lives, our relationships, our institutions, our political apparatus, our sense of self, right? Oh my God, look at what the economy did under Joe Biden. Oh my God, look at what the economy did under Trump. Oh my God, look what the economy did under Obama. It's the economy, it's the money. How deeply these things have been seeded into our consciousness. And I wrote it to speak the truths that I was once very hesitant to say, right? So this book is part confession, part revelation, part blueprint for breaking free. And the fact of the matter is that right now, money is not merely just a tool. It is a complex system of, mathematical concepts and bookkeeping and organization of distribution of resources that creates inorganically a hierarchy between three classes of people. At the very top, you have those that control the rules of money and those that control what is and what isn't money and makes the rules for it and the regulations. In the middle, you have those that have a lot, and at the bottom, you have those that have none or just a little bit. And 99% of us have none or just a little bit. 1% of us have, or almost 1% of us have a whole lot of it. And then, some of those that have a whole lot control the rules, and most of the people that control the rules of it are never seen. They're completely occulted. But at, the press of a button or a phone call, they can bring a country down. And so the book really picks apart, our worship of money, our assimilation into order followerhood, our surrender of individual autonomy to systems that only seek to divide us further and further from each other and further from our mother and father and from our own children. And of course I offer solutions to how to break the cycles.
Fuck yeah, man. We got to be more about solutions. And I love that about you and your approach and all that. And I saw something on Facebook the other day, and it made me think, like, holy shit, this makes a lot of sense. Think about a family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone is just looking to, move out so they can have their own stuff. But, a family with, like 2 sets of grandparents and, all these things. And so let's say there's like 10 people within, a family unit. Yet they're all living in different places. So you have 10 different mortgages or rents being paid, all the utilities and taxes and property tax and all this stuff. And so all these things are being individually paid instead of just like one whole family unit, minimizing all that cost in a sense. And yeah, it puts on the constraint of, independence and all that stuff and living on your own and whatever. But There's just things that make you think about those things, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Working together, sharing, community, building, like sustainable community. All of these things are simple concepts, but there's Walmart, there's the convenience aspect of the systems that are at place right now, but behind Walmart and the grocery store, I don't know what y'all got in France, but behind the grocery store and the restaurant and the airport and the gas station and stuff like that, behind those convenient things is a system of bureaucratic control where you sign on the dotted line and you agree to follow policy that strips you of your freedom. And we got to be conscious of that.
Yeah, real talk, man. I'll let you finish up anything else you wanted to share with your book and everything, and wanted to save the last couple minutes for more of that musica.
For sure. Last thing I'll say about the book is that it's centered around morality. In this universe, and my book is a good foundation builder for this concept, for these concepts or whatever. But in the universe, there is built in something called the universal law of freedom. Okay, and it goes by other names, but there is something that philosophers, clergy, people who are spiritually minded, and I mean really spiritually minded, no matter what the faith system that they follow was, have picked up on and can see very clearly. And it's called I call it the universal law of freedom, which asserts that the rise of morality within a society corresponds directly with the increase in the freedom of the inhabitants of said society, and vice versa. The decline of morality precipitates the parallel erosion of freedom or a rise in slavery. And so what is morality? Morality is do no harm, take no shit, don't steal. It's the actions that you do, the actions that you don't do, and the actions that you care about, right? That you care to make time to do or reflect on or whatever, and to refine your everyday actions. It's the actions that respect other people's freedom, that embrace personal freedoms, and that acknowledge the current state of the human family, so that your action, your lifestyle, seeks to promote the good and change the bad. And so as we live more like that, respecting each other's freedom, embracing our own freedom, and seeking to change what doesn't align with that, the more freedom we have. The less we do that, the more we embrace false authority, and the more that we embrace slavery, and the more that we embrace ideas like I'm better than you if I have more than you, or I'm better than you if I'm stronger than you, or I'm better than you if I have better technology than you do, or whatever, the more that we will see ourselves being enslaved or enslaving others. And, know this, just as the last point, and then we can talk about the music. The enslaver, the slave master, is enslaved to the practice of slavery. Nobody is free in a world of slavery. People are only free in a world of freedom.
Boom. Yeah, well said. And hey, all the quote unquote elites and whatever label people want to put on them, we can call them the nada, because they ain't got it, right? they're enslaved by archons that are feasting off and harvesting their own life force energy as well. So there's things that those people really need to consider, especially in the following afterlife type of shit, right? Word to Mayottes and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
And word up to Chris Nelson. I don't know if you're familiar with him and his work. He's on the One Great Work Network. He has a really great website called evolveconsciousness.org. And he's been putting out a series. He's done 4 already, and titled The Law of Freedom, talking about exactly what you are, but kind of going more into detail. And he has fabulous slides and equations that he's put together. So it's really interesting. And I think he's still going to be continuing his series on it. And he'll present for like an hour, and then he'll open it up for people to jump on to the live chat. So I'd love to see you there too, man. I've been there 4 times already. So yeah, man, I could give you a word when it's, going to be when the next live stream is. But yeah, all that aside, man, yeah, appreciate that. Your book sounds really great and really thought out and conscientious with your efforts and articulations, man. I really appreciate that.
No, yeah, I know you'll get to it at some point.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And after I do the video edits, I'll flash your book on the screen and all that stuff.
Yeah. The homie Cynthia says she's pretty much done reading it.
Oh, word. Yeah. Cynthia Mitchell. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Affirm Life Daily. Hell yeah.
Yeah, y'all check out the Affirm Life Daily podcast, man. I've been on there twice. My wife has been on there.
Yeah. Saw those.
Really, he invited me back too. I think this month or maybe early next month or so. We'll be talking about true care.
Hell yeah, man. You gonna bust out another little presentation on that kind of thing?
Of course. That's what I do.
Fuck yeah, brother. Fuck yeah. Yeah, I love you and her got a great chemistry, Cynthia, and everything. Yeah. I really enjoy watching you guys. That's what's up.
Yeah, I've met her in person once too, man.
Oh, word.
She's great all around.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Sweet woman for sure, yo. Yeah. So back to music.
For sure.
What do you feel is the deal, and just your overall thoughts about AI music? And I'm talking like everything is AI produced. The voice, the sound, and all that shit.
I haven't heard it. I haven't heard it. So
okay, yeah. So no worries.
I can't give an answer that's based in like what I've experienced with it as a concept. I don't really care. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's purposeless either. I think it'll serve a purpose. Music will never not come from organic life. So I'm not threatened by it. I'm sure upon like first hearing the concept, or even like first experiencing for some people AI music where the whole thing is AI, that might be jarring and make people feel like, the end is near. But that doesn't make sense to me. To me, it makes more sense that if AI starts making music, or if people start programming AI to make music, then that'll be another flavor for people to potentially engage in. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think organic life will ever stop making music. I mean, crickets make music, birds make music, dogs make music.
I gave a woof about that, man. Like literally. But
so there's nothing that's going to threaten our ability to make music. And then if it's a threat to our ability to sell music, well, that would be a two-way street, because the buyer, the market, would dictate what they want to spend their money on. I'm sure we're well into having the technological capacity to put on concerts fully organized and produced. Well, not produced, but fully organized and orchestrated by AI, and then produced by human beings as far as the seating and the logistics. But because we can use screens for the performers, And so the AI can do a full concert. And sure, if people want to go see that and they don't want to go to the concert for, the human being, so be it. The market dictates that. But does that mean people will stop making music? Nah, never.
Oh yeah, yeah, never that, man. Yeah, and yeah, because I had my for the Freedom Under Natural Law 4 conference funnel, if you will. My presentation was about AI and all these things, and I had a section in there talking about music and just kind of how it comes from the soul, and the fact that AI doesn't have a soul. It's kind of like the soulless music in a sense. And I have heard some stuff that is kind of decent, and I was like, is this AI? I don't know. It sounds like, and it's like I don't want to be hung up on like, is it AI or not? And if it is, then I don't like it, type of thing. I don't want to be like that, but at the same time, it's like there are certain things that are still kind of jarring to me from listening to certain AI produced songs and stuff. So I'm still kind of getting over it myself. But yeah, I appreciate your comments on that, because it does make sense, and it does have its place. I'll give it that.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
and I could be wrong. I don't know, but I don't. Yeah, I don't see it as purposeless or necessarily like a threat to anything. I see it as another channel you can flip your TV to, type of thing. Like extremely, just like I said, the creation of money or economics, and economic systems. They have the potential to be completely neutral, right? It's a two-way street. You have the top down that says you must treat money like this and authority like this, and then you have the people that obey and say yes, and then the people that are the middleman for them, which the order followers, that say yes, I obey to enforce these weird laws that you write down on paper, and enforce them, and make people sit in cages when they don't listen to your laws, right? That's a two-way street. If there's no obedience, there is no tyranny. You cannot have a king with no merchants and peasants and people that are willingly obedient to the king, and people that build the castle for him, and all of these elements of people that follow orders and are obedient is needed first. And so in music, if there's nobody that goes, this is better, this is worse, this is where our attention should go, then there's no threat.
yeah, well said. I appreciate that. So I was born in '83. I don't know about you, but yeah, just like the musical landscape has shifted around so much. I mean, from tape cassette to CD to mini disc and all these things, and MP3s, and now yeah, it's just all about the streaming and all this stuff. What I'll ask another question, but what kind of, I guess, what you said you're on SoundCloud and yeah, me too, and
Yeah.
I've been kind of scratching my head around for quite some time about like what is the best platform for musicians, and I'm not even thinking about myself, but just for other people, because sometimes like, yeah, I'm just, my heart goes out to y'all, man. Like, how do artists make it and can actually make a living off of their music these days? Sometimes it just seems so hard, and everyone just wants the freebies and listening to it for free on YouTube, not really buying the album and all this stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah.
For real musicians, the platform is the stage.
Right. Yeah.
um Platform, people don't know how asleep they are, right? So
Ah,
people don't know how their opinions about what is good music and what's bad music is not their opinion. I'm sorry to say, right? And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but people are really, really, really blind to how dictated every aspect of their life is, how dictated from external sources like Jewish producers and whatnot, their life is and their opinions are, they're what they think their opinions are. And so, you know, what's the best platform for selling music? We don't have one, right? But what's the best platform for musicians overall? I would say the stage. If your city loves you, if your county loves you, if eventually your state loves you, which not everybody will get to that amount of, I don't want to say fame, but recognition, then then that's where you belong. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean you can't expand. I mean that's like the start of where you belong is on stage. You know, the I really love when I see a little like an Instagram video and it's a bunch of little African kids singing their heart out with harmonies that will blow any modern church out the water. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of little African kids. They just in Africa somewhere singing. And it's like, yo, oh my gosh. You're impressed, you're in awe and inspired and whatnot. And they just there on stage. And it's not a stage, it's the dirt. But that's what, you know, that's what music is. And like hip hop, for instance, right? Hip hop is a cipher. You out, you know, there's a bunch of y'all on the sidewalk and you rhyming. Right? And you're being impressive. And sometimes you're battling and whatnot, but you're out there in the cipher. That is the foundation of musical performance. Now, that doesn't mean that like getting really good at creating stuff that can sound commercial and working on that on your own, and not really, you know, being on stage and stuff doesn't have any place. But it may mean that most people that do that never really master their craft and never really get any money from it. Okay, well, go to work, nigga. Like, I don't I don't know this. I'm just being silly there, but you know, you know, we still do have to provide for ourselves in some capacity. So, the and I didn't mean to say the N word. That's funny. The main point is that the money is not the goal, right? The message is the goal. So the message, you're going to create the message if you're a real musician. If you don't really have a message, you're probably not really a musician. And I don't mean lyrics, because a guitar player has a message, right? An organist, a piano player, all of these different instruments and people that come together and just do jam sessions, and nobody's singing, nobody's rapping. It's just a jam session with music being played, drummers, percussionists, if you will. All of these people have messages. If you don't really have one, then you're probably not a musician, right? You're probably thinking about it from a materialist mindset, and you might need to reflect and figure something else out, respectfully.
Yeah, man, fair enough. And yeah, it just goes again, like people in, you know, young kids watching MTV or whatever, like, oh, I want to do that, and this and that. Like, you got it? You got that special sauce to share with the world? Yeah, and so we see, yeah, and we have this, like, these parallel realities of music worlds, if you will, like the underground scene and the lamestream, the mainstream, right? And have you not seen the degradation of quality, or just the unconsciousness is on the increase with the pop music, or poop music, if you will, or just all that crap, and like the mumble rap and whatever the fuck, man. And it's not to say like the underground is exempt from all that stuff, because, you know, it's inundated with a good amount of that stuff as well, because a lot of people in the underground are influenced by the mainstream stuff. But there's that golden thread of underground cats like yourself and all that shit, right? So yeah, man. Anything about regards with that?
Well, yeah. So I do notice the decline in quality on the mainstream. I do notice the decline, especially for Black artists that make it in the mainstream, the decline in prowess, as far as whether it's lyrical prowess, performative prowess, um, arrangement, as far as like having a good ear for sound arrangement and whatnot, and how long the bridge should be, like bar count. All of these things are dipping in quality and have been dipping in quality in the mainstream. And but that's because of the obedience part of the agenda. You know what I'm saying? Because there's an agenda at play where they want to promote these type of degenerative ideas to specific aspects of American culture and world culture. They do not hide the fact, if it takes this much digging to get real quotes from real people that produce and sponsor these types this regression in quality in the music industry, where they say what they're trying to promote, and they say that they hate Judeo-Christian ideals, and they say that they hate good things, right? And they want to promote bad things. It takes this much digging to see. So when we are obedient, when we choose to abandon our children, or when we choose to just allow and say, "Oh, kids will be kids," or the world is already like this, and we don't have integrity, well, that's a result of it, right? That's a result. So I take responsibility for my part and my parts in the decline in quality of mainstream music. And if everybody took responsibility for it, and then we all decided we wanted it to change, it's through that accountability that we will actually see change. But we don't see change because we're not accountable for our own parts in it.
Is it because, and is it trying to be cute? Because there's not enough whack MC songs out there these days. That was kind of like a way of indirectly, holding people accountable to higher quality music, right? Just calling out whack MCs in a sense, right? To a degree, or having their songs like that, and I'm not talking about like diss tracks in a sense, but it's just people commentating on how on just the whackness and stuff, and how it ain't got to be that way.
I don't think so. I think there's a lot of that in the underground scene.
Yeah, true.
I think, an artist that I like a lot, Toby and Wigwe. You know about Toby?
I
He
know
always got
Toby,
his whole
right?
family with him. He always got his whole family with him in the music videos and
wow.
in
Toby, what's his last name again?
In Wigwe is let me put it in Google so I don't spell it wrong. But TOBENWIGWE.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, he's a Nigerian cat. I mean, he's American from Texas, but
oh yeah.
Right
on. And yeah, I was thinking about asking you this, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. But I was just curious if you were able to trace back some of your ancestral lineages.
Wait, what?
Have you been able to trace back some of your ancestral lineage?
Not direct lines. I haven't. I will. I'm interested, but I haven't done any super huge research. I'm pretty sure that most of my family goes back hundreds, if not thousands of years, right here in the mainland of the United States.
Oh wow!
And we probably also have a little bit of African blood from various. As far as the mainland goes, the transatlantic slave trade mostly landed in the Caribbean and South America. Some of it landed in like South Carolina and stuff like that. But most mainland dark people were here already, as far as the slave plantations in the South.
You talking about the Moors?
No, well, that's Africa. The Moors,
Right.
so
Yeah. But the
so I'm talking
Moors
about,
that were in America already.
well, so they yeah, that was going on as well. But I'm
Mm.
talking about the vast majority of the population that were on the slave plantations in the South
Mm.
were indigenous American dark people.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Huh. Yeah. There's things we just don't learn in school, right? What the fuck?
Mhm.
Yeah, man. Interesting. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever go down that rabbit hole, uh, I can send you some good resources for that.
Sure. Yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah. So, yeah, Toby sounds like a dope artist, and yeah, it's just sometimes we hear. I'm sure you hear it like, oh, like it's 2020 or whatever. Like, where's the real conscious music these days? It's not around, and this and that. Well, you got to dig underground, right? And so, yeah, do you have any artists that are still like currently making music? I mean, even KRS-One's still currently making music, but I'm talking about not the folks. And I don't like to say over the hill, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, not the dinosaurs. I don't listen to anybody who's hot right now, and it's not even by choice. I just fell off from listening to a whole lot of music, and then, like I said, I'm focused right now. Like, just this stage of my life isn't very like listen to music oriented. I'm also not writing a lot right now. I'm writing very little bit right now. I still got it. You know what I'm saying?
Did you have
But
a creative hangover from writing that book, man? Like, yeah, you've been writing a
no,
lot, dude. Like,
no, I already started my second book.
oh wow,
But
you got running. Fuck yeah, dude.
yeah, man.
What's that one
But
about?
morality.
Ah, cool,
Uh,
right on. Sorry, I
but
didn't want to cut you off, but yeah.
you're fine. I'm trying to embrace my abundance birthright, and
Word.
operate privately in trust, and navigate the legal systems and the order follower systems accordingly, so that we can bring more peace to the family and focus on our health and wellness business and stuff by funding it very well.
Yeah, man. Priorities, like real talk, and yeah, music has taken a backseat drastically for me in the past couple of years. Just
Mm-hmm.
doing all this podcasting stuff and moving around and all that jazz. So yeah, but music is always still going to be there. It's a timeless, magical masterpiece that it's can always accompany you as like a best friend out there, right? So yeah, man, I feel
Yeah.
it.
Well, I
Yeah.
think
Any last things you want to share, declare? A quick little 16 or anything? If not, no worries,
um,
man. You're all good.
shit, I always got the bars. Let me see. Um,
Yeah.
expression of rhyme. Here we go. Let me see. It's a where I want to start it from. Here we go. You got to study love to embrace love. Same go with goodness to stop evil when it takes love. Aligning self with frequencies based in love. Essentially, you got to know love to taste love. What makes love unique is perfectly balanced. Between emotion and an action, it's built like a palace. Strong and ever present, love can uproot the malice, discourage judgment, unless justice need to pick up his mallet. Creation has beginnings, but creator does not. God is beyond existence, the maker of thought. So you cannot use the mind to see the sacred is taught. You must tap into the center of the grace in your heart. Pleasure seeking leads you down the road of disappointments. Doing different things to try achieving shit that's pointless. Making hella green or seeking sex with different joints. Just repeating vicious cycles and healing with different ointments. It's disjointed from the life of better choices. Wisdom doesn't hide, it is you who avoids it. Cut the noises, leave excuses in the trash where they belong, and be strong. We all have a destined appointment with the Most High, so go strive. Into the pool of knowledge, hit a nosedive, and don't hide when when you're called to confront the bold lies you hold high, bro. Try. Just let go. Vibrate on the next plane of your conscience coastline. Because real treasure isn't material, because real treasure ain't materials to boast. I'm aware that the wisdom of a truth seeker is in the center of his gold mine.
Brilliant, man. Yeah. That alchemical gold, baby. Yeah. Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Is it hard for you to memorize your lyrics real quick?
No, but they're just old.
Okay,
A
yeah.
lot of that
But
one.
for me, it's like almost impossible. It's so hard for me to memorize that shit. I'm just so amazed how y'all do that shit, man. Like, because I write some stuff, but I can't memorize it.
Yeah, no, I can remember. I memorize. I got a couple things memorized, but I like to read so that I'm real precise, just in case.
Word, yeah.
When I'm on an interview.
Yeah. That's what's up, man.
It was a good conversation, though. I think we touched on a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I hope people are inspired to grab the book. It's called Culture Control by yours truly, Soul Expression.
Damn.
Why the love of money is objectively the root of all evil. You can find it on lulu.com. I wonder if imprint lulu.com. There we go.
Oh, word. Cool, man. Right on the page. Damn, cool. Yeah. And I got all your links. I'll post those in the description, of course. I got the link tree for Ufulu.
The link tree is most important. Yep.
Right, yeah. I got you,
so
brother.
They can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and everything social media wise from the link tree, and they can also get the book and get the products and check things out. Go to Ufulu Child, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotta get one of those, man. That's fresh. Shit. Well, so yeah, really pleasure and honor having you on, man. Thanks so much. Keep on doing the great work out there, and spreading that good love, man. I really appreciate that last piece too. That was great, man.
I appreciate it. I stay with the bars. Come back anytime you want to chat. You know what I'm saying? I do hope that you read the book and we can have another conversation about it.
Yeah, a proper interview of interview the author type of format. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just where you got things that you want to clarify or whatever. But anytime.
Oh, yeah. Right on. Take care. Thanks for listening out there, everyone, and we'll be around. Soundpath to Freedom. Check it out.
Have you ever wondered what freedom is truly about? Not the kind that's handed to you, but the kind you have to fight for. The kind of freedom that's deeply intertwined with your soul's purpose. My new book explores the very heart of this question and explores the very concept of money, its profound impact on our freedom, as well as the stark disparity of freedom between those who control it and those who don't. This isn't a guide to getting rich. It is, however, a journey to expanding your potential to change the world. You can, in fact, change the world. And through these pages, you'll find insights that challenge the status quo, ignite your inner fire, and hopefully inspire action. This book isn't filled with citations and academic jargon. It is deeply grounded in truth that resonates with the core of our true human experience. I don't rely on citations to validate my ideas here because what I'm sharing is common sense, observable reality. I write not to prove, but to suggest. And I encourage you to read with an open heart, to engage, to question, and above all, to think for yourself. Throughout my journey, I've learned from incredible minds like Jordan Maxwell, Mark Passio, Lloyd Pye, Jeremy Locke, Billy Carson, and many, many more. But most importantly, I've learned from life. I've learned from the love that I hold for my family, the community that I cherish, the divine creator that sustains me. The message that I share in this book comes from a place of true care. You may consider this book an act of care and righteous defiance against a world that seems intent
on keeping us all enchained. I wrote it because I feel a great need for its message. A message that may be difficult for some to digest, but one that I believe can shift the tide in favor of freedom for all. So if you, like me, feel the pain of staying silent when truth is distorted, share this book. Share it with a friend, a loved one, anyone who needs to hear it. This isn't just a book. It's a beacon for all those ready to reclaim their power and stand against tyranny. Let's break these chains together.
Hope you all gained something from this discussion. Thanks for tuning in to this point. I just wanted to make a few points real quick in that, checking out his music, his more, thorough discography on SoundCloud. This guy has got some very dope lyrical skills, and all the links are in the description and all that jazz. So, voila. He has a book out, music, all that great stuff. I'm looking to interview artists like this, and no one's got to be, at such a high caliber. If you have a real conscious, proper mind state and you're trying to not just rhyme great, but actually decrease the crime rate and some other shit that's aligned to the divine state of things like natural law and things that we discussed in this conversation. So hit me up, let me know, and I will be looking to contact in the future other artists that I've featured on my hip-hop mixes. And I wanted to get soul in first, in a sense, because it's like kind of feeling bad because I haven't thrown him in the mix yet. So he's definitely on my radar for the next one coming out. So stay tuned for that. Even though I don't know when it will be. But regardless, stay tuned because there is that Soundpath to Freedom Music Festival coming up in September. There's going to be a lot more information as things develop and all that. And we really get the artists who we've reached out to confirm these things, right? So this is going to be a pretty big event, and there's not a whole lot of things out there like it. So please feel free to, subscribe to the new YouTube channel that I created under that name, Soundpath to Freedom, and we will be uploading videos and having a couple playlists in there of music that we're sharing in the Telegram group, and you guys are welcome to join the Telegram group where people are just talking, discussing, sharing music and that kind of stuff, aligned to spiritual principles, not just whatever the fuck and flim flam and walla walla bim bam. Fuck that. Let's raise the standards of humanity and consciousness, right? And music is such a powerful tool to help play the soundtrack to that, in a sense, and motivate minds and hearts, as I stated from the start of creating this YouTube channel. So, voila, les gars. And if anyone out there still listening wouldn't mind possibly even reaching out to some hip-hop artists, letting them know, like, hey, this guy, Derek Bartolcelli, waking your mind, he's got some dope-ass hip-hop mixes, 130 of them, and he wants to interview artists. So voila, take care out there, and thank you again for watching.
I pull all of my energy from the source, bro. I be huffing with it, they be watching pornos. These rappers bought their delivery from the store, yo. No DiGiorno. Originality out of the door, though. Illegitimate rhythm is given a proper rapport, so I make it a point to give them a lick and akin to the Morse code. Days and enslavement, it pays when the pavement was paved in the way that forgave reparations. Entropy can enter the enemy and render the memory of when we were forever kings. I'm eating rappers as dietary disagreement. The proof is in the pudding, the morals in the meaning, the root is in the footprint. And it is what it is when it isn't good looking. Develop the positive in the negative like a photograph. God speaking silent, sleep on soul till you know the task.